Hello and welcome back to Car Rental University. I am your host, Alex Withrow. Today we're going to talk about what are the pros and cons of HYRECAR in 2024. I'm going to give you the full list of everything. I have a lot of experience with HYRECAR over the years, and they have changed some over time. So before I get into that, click below, grab the 5 things you must do before starting a car rental business. That also comes with the CarShare Growth Guide, which gives you a city-by-city breakdown of which CarShare platform is strongest, zip code by zip code. It's a lot of great information in there. So let's get into this. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go through all of the pros and cons of all the platforms once again in 2024. I did this a couple years ago, and things have changed some since then. This industry is always changing very much and very quickly. We've had a lot of movement over the last year or two in the car sharing space. So first of all, I want to say about HYRECAR. HYRECAR is kind of the entry-level drug to car sharing. Pretty much everyone finds HYRECAR first. I don't know why that is, but they do. They have a great internet and presence, marketing presence especially amongst Uber drivers. So Uber drivers know HYRECAR very well. They, if you ask any Uber driver, they pretty much know that HYRECAR rents cars to rideshare drivers, and this is something that it's a resource for them to find cars, right? And so these are typically people, the clientele on HYRECAR is usually people that don't have cash or credit, and they, a lot of times they're new to the country, and they just need some form of a car so that they can work on Uber or Lyft. Okay, so if you are looking to rent your cars on HYRECAR, that is pretty much the clientele you are going to be working with and dealing with. That said, HYRECAR was acquired by Getaround last May. And I will say that I think that they have improved operationally on some level. Their website has not improved at all, but I will say that things seem to be moving a little better with HYRECAR. But let me give you kind of the pros and cons of what I think HYRECAR can do for you if you are interested in working with HYRECAR. So first of all, automatic pro about HYRECAR is that you get long-term Uber renters. That is far and away the best thing about HYRECAR. You can always get long-term renters on HYRECAR. Now, nowadays, 5 years ago, you had to kind of convince drivers to maybe get off HYRECAR, convert to a private rental agreement. Nowadays, if you just say, hey, would you be interested in doing a private rental agreement after a month or so on HYRECAR, they all go, yeah, let's do that. I know the drill on that. Let's do that. So that is, I mean, it's obvious. HYRECAR is a great way to find Uber drivers and recruit them for private rental agreements. I would say that most of us who have done this, done car rentals for years now, that's probably the primary way in which we are using HYRECAR. That said, if you want to use HYRECAR just as an app and you want to keep your drivers on HYRECAR, there's a couple things I want to just point out that you have to kind of be careful with. First of all, they have 4 different insurance plans. I would say, there are definitely holes and gaps in their insurance plans. Typically, when you have a claim on HYRECAR, if you are, they will give their initial estimate with their claims adjuster if there's an accident. If your shop does not submit a supplemental request for additional money for repairs within 4 weeks, they will deny it. That has happened to me before. Not fun. You don't want that to happen. So they do not operate like a normal insurance company. Typically, most insurance companies, if you submit a supplemental request 2, 3, 4 months out, no big deal. They'll deny it. So what I don't like about HYRECAR is that they typically are looking for little angles like that to stick, to chip you out of money, basically. So that's one of my big issues with HYRECAR, is that they are very good at finding sneaky little loopholes to deny money to you for that you would normally think is just obvious, stuff that companies would pay out. So I will say, if you are going to keep, your car on HYRECAR, their insurance plan, it's a little. I would definitely do the highest level, and many times they try to just battle you tooth and nail over, what's going to be, what's going to work, and what they're going to reimburse you on, which is really, really annoying, frankly. Another thing I want to point out is that the clientele, the drivers that you find on HYRECAR, I mean, it depends what market you're in, but I would say probably about a third of them on that website have bad intentions for your car. I would say about a third have bad intentions for your car. So that's obviously a lot. I've had some big issues with HYRECAR drivers over the years. I've had some attempted, steals of cars from HYRECAR drivers. I would say that if you're going to work with HYRECAR drivers, it really behooves you to vet them well, because HYRECAR does not vet them at all. The process is way, way less than Getaround or Turo. Turo and Getaround vet their people way, way more. So, so you just have to kind of realize that if you're going to work with HYRECAR drivers, you really need. I would definitely recommend going through a background check with them. At the minimum, you need to see their driver's, abstract and see what kind of record they have, because a lot of drivers on HYRECAR are bad drivers. I will say that, if you work with, say, 4 drivers with 4 cars on HYRECAR, you will have an accident once a month. Probably. That would be my guess. So for every 4 cars you have out there with 4 HYRECAR drivers, you will probably have 1 accident once a month. So just, again, you just have to know that they are very high risk drivers. For myself, I have perfected the art of vetting HYRECAR drivers over the years. I've worked with a ton of HYRECAR drivers over the years. And so at this point, I don't really have any issues with them anymore, but, for the most part, I've been pretty free and clear of issues with HYRECAR drivers, but it did take a long time to figure out how to vet them. So all that to say, I do think that HYRECAR has a place in the industry. Like I said, I think most people use it now to use for finding drivers for private rental agreements, and that's a very commonly used use case of HYRECAR amongst many operators. But my general feeling is that I don't really like to touch HYRECAR too much, just because I think it comes with headaches, and there are a lot of headaches with HYRECAR. They are operating better. They run all their claims usually through Sedgwick. For the most part, I've had a good experience with Sedgwick. Sometimes I haven't. It kind of just depends who you get over there. But, they do typically pay you out as they should. There's only been one time I've had one claim denied, or a partial claim denied. So that said, like I said, working with HYRECAR, if you keep it on the platform, you're pretty much guaranteed $1,000 a month in revenue. Not bad, but there are a lot of risks with working with HYRECAR. And, I think that you just have to understand the risks in working with them, because it is a little sticky with them many times. The company in general is not super well run. It's okay. It has gotten better since Getaround took over. So I do think that they are better now. But in general, I think that the only time I would use HYRECAR is if you're looking for private rental agreement drivers. And if you're going to do that, make sure you will really, really vet them. Background check, see that driver's abstract, and really have a kind of sit-down conversation with the driver, just to make sure you feel comfortable with this person and you're getting all the information about them. Otherwise, I think it's a big risk to leave cars on there long term, because you can, get denied payouts on different claims, and eventually, those cars will probably get hit. Now, if you have an old car and you're trying to get rid of it, It's a great place to put a car. But you know, I put that at the end of the video. Anyway, drop some questions, comments about HYRECAR. Happy to answer them. Like I said, I know HYRECAR very, very well. Before I go, click below, grab the 5 things you must do before starting a car rental business. I will catch you in the next episode. Thank you.